Imagine waking up in a world with no Spotify, no YouTube, no radios, no headphones, and no musical instruments as we know them today. No concerts, no streaming apps, and no songs playing in the background while you work or travel. Would music even exist in such a world? Surprisingly, the answer is yes. In fact, humans were making and enjoying music thousands of years before the first cities, kingdoms, or written languages ever appeared. Music is one of humanity's oldest and most universal traditions. Scientists believe our ancestors may have been creating music for tens of thousands of years. Some researchers even suggest that music may be older than agriculture and possibly older than spoken language in its modern form. Long before humans built houses or invented wheels, they were already surrounded by sounds. Nature itself became humanity's first music teacher. The sound of rain falling on leaves, birds singing at sunrise, rivers flowing over rocks, wind moving through trees, and distant thunder rolling across the sky created an endless collection of rhythms and melodies. Early humans were excellent listeners because survival depended on hearing danger and opportunity. They learned to recognize animal calls, approaching storms, and sounds made by other members of their group. Over time, humans may have started copying and experimenting with these sounds simply out of curiosity. The first musical instrument was probably the human body itself. Hands could clap, feet could stomp, fingers could snap against skin or wood. People could hit their chests to create deep rhythms or slap objects to create different sounds. Without realizing it, they were already making music. Rhythm was especially useful for groups working together. Shared beats could help hunters move together, help people carry heavy objects, or coordinate activities that required teamwork. Even today, workers, soldiers, and athletes often perform better when following a common rhythm. The human voice soon became the most important instrument of all. Unlike tools, everyone carried a voice with them everywhere they went. Singing required no materials, no preparation, and no special equipment. Anyone could participate. Early songs were probably simple and repetitive. Repetition made sounds easier to remember and easier to teach to others. These early songs may have helped parents calm children, helped communities celebrate successful hunts, or helped groups stay together during long journeys. Music may also have become one of humanity's first teaching tools. Before writing existed, important knowledge had to be remembered and passed from generation to generation through memory alone. Songs and rhythms made information easier to remember. Many cultures throughout history have used songs to preserve stories, history, laws, and traditions. Ancient humans may have done the same thing thousands of years earlier. A song could survive for generations even if no one ever wrote it down. As human creativity grew, people began experimenting with objects around them. Two sticks struck together created one sound. Stones hitting each other produced another. Hollow logs created deep echoes, while smaller pieces of wood produced sharper tones. Eventually, humans discovered that almost any object could become an instrument if used creatively enough. Bones, shells, seeds, stones, and animal skins all had unique sounds that could be combined in different ways. Some of the earliest rattles may have been simple containers filled with small stones or seeds. When shaken, they produced rhythms that could accompany singing or dancing. Similar instruments still exist in many cultures today. Drums may have appeared surprisingly early in human history. Stretching animal skin over a hollow piece of wood creates a loud and powerful sound that can travel long distances. Such sounds could gather communities together or announce important events. One of the most remarkable discoveries made by archaeologists is the ancient bone flute. Several flutes made from bird bones and mammoth ivory have been discovered in Europe and are more than 40,000 years old. These flutes prove that humans were already creating complex musical instruments long before farming or cities existed. Creating such instruments required planning, precision, and skill, showing that music was already important enough to justify considerable effort. Different groups of humans likely developed their own musical traditions independently. Communities separated by mountains, deserts, or oceans would have created different sounds and styles based on their local environment and available materials. Music probably became deeply connected to ceremonies and important events. Births, deaths, successful hunts, marriages, and seasonal celebrations may all have included singing, rhythm, and dancing. Some researchers believe music may have played an important role in spiritual life as well. Rhythms and repeated melodies can create powerful emotional experiences that help groups feel connected to something larger than themselves. Even today, music remains an important part of religious ceremonies in many cultures around the world. This tradition may stretch back thousands of years into humanity's distant past. Music also helped strengthen social bonds. Singing together creates feelings of trust and cooperation between people. Communities that sang and celebrated together may have formed stronger relationships and worked better as groups. As human societies became larger and more organized, music became more sophisticated. Instruments improved, performances became more structured, and musicians began developing specialized skills. Ancient Egypt developed a rich musical culture that included harps, drums, flutes, and string instruments. Music was used during religious ceremonies, festivals, and royal celebrations. Paintings found inside Egyptian tombs show musicians performing with surprisingly advanced instruments. These images reveal that music had become an important part of daily life thousands of years ago. Mesopotamia, often called the cradle of civilization, also developed highly advanced musical traditions. Musicians performed in temples and royal courts and held respected positions within society. Some of the earliest written musical records in history come from Mesopotamia. For the first time, humans began recording music so that future generations could reproduce it accurately. Ancient Greece took music very seriously and considered it an important part of education. Greek philosophers believed music could influence emotions, behavior, and even moral character. Students in Greece often learned music alongside mathematics, literature, and philosophy. Music was not viewed as simple entertainment, but as an essential part of becoming an educated person. The Romans adopted many musical traditions from the Greeks and expanded them throughout their growing empire. Public events, military ceremonies, and theatrical performances often included music. As trade routes expanded across continents, musical ideas traveled alongside goods and technologies. Instruments moved from one civilization to another, where they were adapted and improved. This exchange helped create entirely new musical traditions. A single instrument could evolve into many different versions as it spread across regions and cultures. Over thousands of years, humans developed countless types of instruments. String instruments, wind instruments, percussion instruments, and many other categories slowly emerged through experimentation and creativity. Despite all these changes, the basic human connection to music never disappeared. Modern technology may have changed how we listen, but not why we listen. People still use music to celebrate, relax, express emotions, remember important moments, and connect with others. The same needs that existed thousands of years ago continue to exist today. A parent singing to a child, friends singing together, or crowds gathering for celebrations are traditions that connect modern humans with their ancient ancestors. The songs may sound different, the instruments may be more advanced, and the technology may be completely new, but the emotional power of music remains remarkably similar. So how did ancient humans experience music before modern technology? They created it themselves using their voices, their bodies, simple tools, and the sounds of nature around them. Long before streaming services, speakers, and smartphones existed, humans had already discovered something extraordinary. Music was never simply invented by civilization. It grew naturally from the human experience itself. In many ways, the story of music is also the story of humanity. As long as humans have existed, rhythm, melody, and sound have traveled beside us, helping us communicate, celebrate, learn, and dream about the future. And perhaps that is why music remains one of the few things that every culture on Earth shares. No matter where humans live or what language they speak, music continues to remind us that we are all part of the same story.